Hello and welcome to another video. So today we're taking a look at a spell boost deck that prioritizes things like Prophetess of Creation. Not entirely, this is kind of just an added bonus, but it does prioritize getting a lot of these spell boostable cards out, like Truth's Adjudication, Zealot of Truth, all those sort of things, Sweet Tooth Medusa, and it does a fairly good job at that. It also, the one single lovely harmonica, does a wonderful job at restocking itself over and over, making it a very good option. And honestly, only card in this deck you probably want to run extra of would be Omen of Truth, but to be fair, one does the job just fine for me, so I was quite happy with it. We're going to get right into this and check it out. Okay, kicking us off is Urius. Going up against him is usually fun. Bloodcraft stocks some pretty aggressive pieces normally with the new mecha sort of style decks. I know people go with Deus Ex Machina sort of style and go Machina, but I think just nicknaming the whole archetype Machina does a much easier job, or Mecha, as most people go. Mech is probably the easiest way to go with it, since mech is a pretty universal term for the robot style cards, so why not? Plus saves me the hassle of trying to fix up my speech all the time, which just distracts mostly from these type of videos. So starting off with the early spell was fairly handy. Didn't really get much else though going into the next line of play. Really it's just Wind Blast, and since that is spell boosting a few cards, it's worth playing, even if it wasn't the best move to go with immediately. Then we have the lovely harmonica. As I mentioned at the beginning, a great card on her own. Does a wonderful job at constantly giving you an out when you need it. Armored Bat is a little rough to deal with though, since it does just generate so much value. So we do want a way to deal with as much of this as we can. At least Aiolon should be an okay card to do so. And getting a triple boost on the Fiery is definitely going to come in handy. And now we can actually take out at least 3 things. And we also have the Fate's Hand to use. I do like to play Fate's Hand on one sometimes, but we did decide just to hold on to it because we've got so many other good spell boostables right now that we can actually afford to just hold Fate till next turn probably, so why not? I mean, I could have went for the Fate and it may have been the right idea, but I think I'm quite happy with the way I played this to begin with, even though it didn't work out for me entirely. So Zealot of Truth, being able to go face with him is quite nice. We don't want to quite bring them down to Vengeance yet, but having them in range of a pretty strong attack would be good. Techno Lord, massive damage boost there, but we still got left the 5-2 up, so why not? Yeah, Monica's familiar, we can start taking advantage of that to kill off basically 2 cards per turn while dealing some damage. The only thing I don't want to do right this second is put them into Vengeance, so I do decide to use the 5-2 to just deal with the extra 1-1, wiping the board. Since I didn't want to risk any kind of storm damage just coming down off the Vengeance play, could have been dangerous, so I was definitely worthwhile just to kind of leave them alone for a moment. Now we don't really have a lot more to play, but since we've got a free turn, Omen of Truth gives us a chance to spell boost everything in our deck. Warring Thunder, a couple of nice cards to deal with this. And a repair mode, just getting that little bit of health in. Now we have the Zero Cross Zealot, that's could come in quite handy, since we do already have a 9-cost Zealot, which means we can actually go for both of them at the same time. The only trouble now is making sure we have enough to go for lethal as soon as we can. Mono, definitely a rough card to deal with Alpha Drive, as it gets quite a nice buff. Since it is on its own though, we have a chance. So Fiery Embrace plus the Truth should do the job. Actually brought him right in range, which is perfect, and ended up allowing us to close that game. Now for the next game, it is a Rune against Forest. We do get to go first, which is pretty good for spell boost. So we have the Magic Missile, Eleanor, and a Fiery Embrace. The only real card we don't want is probably the Fiery Embrace this early. It's a good card if you can get a spell boosted a lot, but this deck doesn't have super spell boost as far as it goes normally unless I get super lucky, and I wasn't feeling too lucky with this hand so far, so going the more early game route against Forest is probably going to be the most beneficial outcome. So I decided to throw the Magic Missile at the Goblin. I want to make sure I can deal with him next turn if I need to. Fortunately they have another Goblin, so that kind of ruins any decent plan I had of limiting their board. But at least we did end up being able to kill the single Goblin. Golem and Goblin are such close words when you think about it. Anyway, we have the core. I think that was a worthwhile play considering Eleanor can be next turn. And with her we can actually go for a couple of decent lines of play. We could also have went for Rooney, which is probably not a bad option once you can start considering it. Because we do have the Wind Blast anyway, so being able to remove both of these effectively and spell boost Prophecy of Doom is extremely reasonable. And we can also play off one of the Insights, which is good. Even though I probably should have went for the Insight first before attacking. Just getting my ordering right would have definitely helped me spell boost a bit. Especially since we ended up getting a Zealot. We could have actually had a 7 cost Zealot at that point. A little rough that we can't attack, but again, focusing on more spell boost and core should be good. I decided to sacrifice a card for Apostle. So Fates for the Flame Destroyer since we've got plenty of draw now and we've got plenty of cards in hand. Peerless Shot, such a, I don't want to say overpowered card, but very, very oppressive card when it comes to Forest decks. Since it is just so powerful and has such versatility. But Cosmic Flare is now a really good play. Especially getting that couple of boost on the Flame Destroyer. Fortunately we're going to overdraw here, thanks to Splendor. It might have been better to try and use something else to start with, but losing one Insight isn't the complete end of the world, and we did get to spell boost pretty reasonably for the turn. Apostle of Unkilling, not something I see every day, so definitely keeping me on my toes here. Very interesting. So now we just need a good turn. Prophecy of Doom is okay. I don't really have too many options, so that's actually not the worst. Odin's a little rough though with Storm, as that is going to be 11 damage out of my 16. And that Carbuncle Spark doesn't really help us when they're drawing cards and recovering evolution points, so it's definitely a rough situation to be in. But we can at least spell boost a little bit further. We're going to try and keep ourselves in this game, even if it takes us our entire life here. So we're going to have to use the Zealot for trade. We can't leave the 5 up. That would probably end on very badly for us. And it definitely would have, because this trading would have been nightmare. And right now, we don't have too many ways to go for lethal. I think we are... Oh no, sorry, with the 7 damage, actually, we get this lethal very easily. Completely forgot that we had Prophecy of Doom active. I was trying to think of how we actually got around that, which, no, Prophecy of Doom, instant win. We could have had the chance with the Truth, I guess, having a go, but probably wouldn't have been good. Overall, this deck was reasonably fun. I would have liked to have got to use Sweet Tooth or Prophetess a bit more, but every other card did a really nice job, in particular with Harmonica. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more content. Until next time, see ya.